To be fair, I understand what you're aiming at, but there's some things that you're missing. Venezuela has been in its runs since before the U.S. government even tried to become a multinational thing. Venezuela's just been kind of down and out, and people from Venezuela say that all the time. A lot of the people that we notice have been protesting the Venezuela issue right now, most of them aren't Venezuelan. But even outside of all that, regardless of how you see it, at the end of the day, if we're going to protect American interests, that has to happen because we, at the end of the day, are in fact American. We have to protect home before we can look at somebody else's. And even on outside of all that, right? Let's just put the basic math together. If we're going to sit here and fight, and I'm going to actually go against Pan too. He's saying, oh, well, Venezuelans brought the D's in, right? But get this, we could say the Somalians just increased inflation, which is affecting all the Black community as well. If we're gonna make arguments for one, we'll make them for all. But that's not the point at the end of the day. We still have to protect us first.
No, that was a great point, and I actually agree. Personally, I call ICE on Somalians every day. I literally Google Somali-owned businesses, and I call ICE on them. But as far as the brother KT, with all due respect, it's pointless speaking to him because he will continue unapologetically to booty clap for the Venezuelans. But the point is this: KT is an example of the Black American male cuck. He's going to fix a plate for foreigners that have, in response, poisoned his own community, killed members of his own community, and he will continue to twerk for them. This is why Latinos
And
outnumber Black Americans within the U.S. because you
to
have
end my
cuck
point,
American. Exactly, brother. And
Yeah,
I say
keep
this
going,
in
keep
closing.
going, keep going. You got it.
I
Go
say
ahead.
this in closing. And I'm much love to the panelists. I'll say this in closing. If Black American men collectively don't stop being cucks and twerking for other ethnicities, in the next 20 years, you won't have any more majority Black American communities because the men that actually have testosterone, they will take over all of your communities. We already see it in Compton. We already see it in Harlem. We already see it in LA, Boston, Miami, etc. So Black American male, either you have testosterone or you are a booty clapping whore like KT. There's no in between, respectfully.
Quick question,
so
Pan. Just let me ask
can I
this
please
because I don't want to
finish?
The
interrupt y'all. Can I?
respectfully
Let me
after
just
those
ask
is
a quick question.
diabolical. The respectfully
Yeah,
is
fact.
Right.
diabolical. That's
And
what
let
I'm
me
Just
just
saying.
ask one quick
Hold on,
question.
KT and Josh. Hold on, KT and Josh. It was Mr. Work supposed to go after. Make sure y'all maintain your thoughts. Go ahead, Mr. Work.
I had one sentence left.
I just wanted to say something to the booty clapper guy left. I just wanted to say it's a very
They did.
tribalist mindset that he's coming from. KT's talking about a bigger globalist agenda here, and from what it sounds like, KT also seems to have isolationist leanings, which I do myself as well. I think we shouldn't be involved in foreign nations. But here's the contradiction in what was said. If KT is advocating for Venezuela to just be left alone to its own demise, how's that booty clapping if people are saying that they're famine, that they have all these issues over there? Isn't KT like advocating for them to go through that on their own? How's that booty clapping for them? That's what I wanted to ask the booty clapper guy, but he left. And then on top of that,
So the way how it is because they are asking for foreign aid from other countries and they asking for military aid from foreign countries. So that's why we have to pay attention to what they're doing. When Maduro literally goes to Russia and make a military deal with Russia, that becomes a problem. That is not them trying to do it on their own.
I know, but they can't eat the bullets, man. If they're in famine, military aid's not going to be helping the Venezuelan people.
Right, and so now that goes. So I'm glad that you brought that up. So now that goes into the fact that the reason why they are using what he's been doing over there politically as a way to indict him over here is that he don't actually care about the people. He stole the election because he was elected up out of there. That's number one. So he's not even respecting his own constitution of people voting him out. He was voted out, and he did not transition.
That's finally somebody said it.
He did not transition the power to the new regime. So again, it's a lot of things that we're just leaving out, but hopefully we can get to it as we keep building the conversation. KT, you get a chance to respond. Shadow want to jump in. And
Sharon, I didn't get to finish my point. I just wanted to say something.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to point out the bait and switch that happened, right? Because at first we were all talking about fentanyl this, fentanyl that, Venezuela's doing fentanyl. On the charging documents, it says nothing about fentanyl, it's cocaine. You see how that's a bait and switch?
Yes,
That's
I
fine.
noticed that too.
That's fine. You on mute,
Yeah,
Buddha.
they were talking about yeah.
Yeah, but also to be fair, that's not. We haven't seen the entire document yet. It could actually bring it up later, because keep in mind, 25 pages, that could be over 20 to 25 to 30 charges. So we don't know what all offenses he's being charged with, or what specific conduct is involved in that offense. So just, sorry to interrupt that, but I want to make sure you understand that just because it's not listed immediately doesn't mean it's not listed.
Well, I don't think fentanyl is the issue, because if it was, then the United States would have a mapped out strategic map of how they're actually importing the fentanyl,
Right.
and they don't have.
So what we see, Mr. Work, that the drug of choice that is at hand is the cocaine. It ain't as of right now.
But you know why they did the bait and switch?
So as they was, whoever tried to represent the argument, they was wrong with the choice of drug, but it's still a drug issue. Is the problem.
Well, it was purposeful. They went with fentanyl because the reason for that is it's easier to push the propaganda that fentanyl is killing a lot of people. Cocaine isn't. So saying it's fentanyl and then labeling fentanyl as a weapon of mass destruction, it's easier to push that propaganda as to why we needed to do military action. If people were going to say cocaine,
hold on, but like, what I'm trying to say is that America itself is not pushing fentanyl on Maduro. They pushing cocaine on Maduro, not fentanyl. The people that was on the panel, Mr. Pan Mulattoism, he was pushing the fentanyl situation because he's just talking about Venezuelans in Chicago pushing a certain kind of drug, which is causing a problem within a black community. It's what Pan was trying to articulate. He didn't do such a good job, but he talking about when they are here, they had a certain drug of choice in certain neighborhoods that they was pushing, and it wasn't cocaine, is what his argument was. It's specifically in Chicago.
Hey, Uda, can you post the link?
Was also pushing fentanyl. They were saying Trump literally said fentanyl is a weapon of mass destruction. They were pushing fentanyl.
Right, but that's the difference. But he wasn't saying that.
Mulatto saying that because the media is saying that.
But we gotta understand. So if we gonna, I don't want to muddy the word, but he wasn't saying that towards Maduro. Maduro has a specific drug that he's talking about.
Yeah.
Fentanyl
no, they were saying
no. He said fentanyl.
Hold on, the fentanyl is another issue that America do have that we cannot just throw to the wayside. It's another problem. It's another issue that we do have, and that issue is just not connected to Maduro at this moment. But it's
no. But listen, we point out that the reason Pan got up here and is saying cocaine.
Okay, I understand that, but he's not here no more. So I'm trying. Hold on.
We just point out why people like him.
Hold on. What I'm trying to do is clarify what is happening, so we don't have to be stuck on the word.
No,
fentanyl.
but listen, we not.
Hold on. I need you to understand what I'm attempting to do. I do not want us to be stuck on the word fentanyl because we have the document and we are moving forward to say that it is cocaine is the drug that they are using to indict the man on. Fentanyl is another issue that at this moment has no current ties to Maduro in this current state, is what I'm trying to say.
So I'm just pointing out that we in agreement with that because we've read the documents. But when you see Trump literally talking about Maduro, when you see Fox News and the media talking about Maduro, they are including fentanyl. So we cannot say, well, because we're reading the documents and we see it's just cocaine, they ain't actually, yes, they are. The second thing I want to say is, again, we seem to be willing to have any effing excuse to justify our BS, but we want to sit there and act like other people have to follow some stuff because, well, it's like they just said in the beginning of this document, everything he was doing to their benefit. If our justification is, well, we're doing these things because America benefit, my point is, who the heck is really wrong here? And like, why are we acting like just because we're supposed to be like, quote unquote, the more powerful one, that we're in the right and they're somehow wrong?
Okay, so all right. So now when we go into that part of it, right, of the discussion, we could clearly see who is the parent and who's the child, right? So somebody going to have to be the parent eventually, right? We cannot keep just saying, oh, everybody just do whatever they want to do, and if it fuck up, it fucks up. And then we here to clean it up, because guess what? When it hit the fan, they're asking who to help them clean it up, the bigger countries, right? So if you are asking for help, then therefore you are in a child position. And so therefore the people with the bigger six America, China, and Russia, people always run to them first. It is what it is. And so when we have that, when we just have the ability to help other nations, we also going to extract things from that nation as well. It's no just giving without getting. It's just, that's not going to be a thing where we just help somebody become wealthy without helping ourselves as well while we helping you. It's just not a thing.
And that's a sad mind.
Look what they said here, though. But hold up, KT. They said there is no solid public evidence that Maduro personally runs or directs fentanyl trafficking. What is publicly documented is really just the yay. You know what I'm saying?
No, I agree.
Yeah,
but we talking about what people are going to believe, because the president
most likely,
this.
Most likely,
people
though.
Listen. We really overcredit people and undercredit ourselves, because we understand people on these panels, they try to be at least a little bit educated. Most people do not care about being educated. They will accept what they're being told enough, and that's why Pan got up here and said that same thing. So that's all I'm saying. We know the truth. We gonna read these documents. The media is saying other things, and the majority of people are running with that. We should not throw that out.
Okay, so KT, but the issue is that we are correcting those. On this show today, we are correcting the misinformation in real time. Like, so somebody says something, Uda bringing up the actual document of what he's getting done. So we correcting it in real time. And so we cannot say that we understand that other places are not correcting it in real time, but we're doing our best to get out the proper information, whether if it's on our side of the argument or not. We're just trying to get the information out there as much as we possibly can, because a lot of things we don't know. Huh?
I think AT's making a more general point.
Yes.
The people that are saying the fentanyl was the issue basically got played by U.S. propaganda. The U.S. positioned it as fentanyl. And then when it was time to put letters to paper, they said cocaine. If they were going to say cocaine, literally,
how it go, bro. Look what
they
baby oils.
And
correct. So, all right. So what I'm saying that we are all. So I just want to make sure you understand, KT, that we all in agreement that the propaganda was fentanyl, but now the actual indictment is about cocaine and how he was doing it 12 miles off the coast of America is what he's getting. That's what he's in court for.
No, we all in agreement.
Okay, so
y'all skipping the propaganda is most important.
The only thing, what I'm saying is,
before we
can know what I'm saying, KT. The only thing I could do is ask for people to push out more of my content that is attempting to get to some kind of truthfulness, rather than just go ahead and watch these other people that are lying to you in your face while we are doing actual documentation of what is actually being said. And this is the problem that we got to start realizing that, just because somebody have a difference of opinion, if he's letting everybody get an opportunity to talk, those are the channels that we need to be pushing out there, because more people are getting the opportunity to communicate more than ever.
Hey, Uda, have you read through the whole indictment yet?
Not yet. We up to page what, like 2 or 3?
I've read it over
once
over that.
I'll just say,
I'll
just say, are you okay with dropping the link? Because I tried to find it just now and I couldn't.
I'll drop the link.
Yeah, drop it.
I'll drop it in the back.
I don't know. All right, bet. Thank you.
He said he's gonna drop it in the back for you. Go ahead, Uda. It's your time to shine, my brother. Go ahead. We got 130 people in the building. Make sure y'all hit the like and the share button. Go ahead, Uda, as we read more of this documentation.
We're gonna take it off from right where we left off. They said Nicolas Maduro, the defendant, now sits atop a corrupt, illegitimate government that for decades has leveraged the government's power to protect and promote illegal activity, including drug trafficking. That drug trafficking has enriched and entrenched the Venezuela's political and military elite, including Minister of Interior, Justice, and the Peace, Diosdado. We ain't going into all that. Diosdado, the defendant, and former Minister of the Interior and Justice, Ramon, the defendant, that massive scale drug trafficking has also concentrated power and wealth in the hands of Maduro's family, including his wife, that purported the purported first lady of Venezuela, Cecilia, the defendant, and Maduro's son, the member of Venezuela's National Assembly, Nicolas Ernesto Maduro, the defendant, This cycle of narcotic-based corruption lines the pockets of Venezuelan officials and their families while also benefiting violent narco-terrorists who operate with impunity on Venezuelan soil and who help produce, protect, and transport tons of yay to the United States. At various times since in or about 1999, the Venezuelan officials, including Nicolas Maduro, Diosdado, and all the people that was named just now, the defendants, have partnered with narco terrorists from this place in Colombia, FARC, which is probably their faction. And this is another liberation faction, the ELN, the Sinaloa cartel, and the Zetas, and the Tren de Aragua. These are them people that's running around in our cities. These people. These is the gang, like how the gangs in Chicago is these people. It's Tren de Aragua. But these are the same people that was in New York City that ran down on the kid, I think, as well in New York City, TDA.
Absolutely.
Including TDA's leader, Hector Flores, Nino Guerrero, the defendant, in sum, the Maduro's family, whatever, and his conspirators have for decades partnered with some of the most violent and prolific drug traffickers and narco terrorists in the world and relied on corrupt officials throughout the region to distribute tons of yay to the United States. Now, Nicolas Maduro's, the defendant, a Venezuelan citizen, was previously the president of Venezuela and is now, having remained in power despite losses in recent elections, the de facto but illegitimate ruler of the country. Maduro also previously held a seat in Venezuela's National Assembly between in or about 2000 and in or about 2006, acted as the Venezuelan Minister of Foreign Affairs between in or about 2006 and in or about 2013, and acted as the Vice President of Venezuela in or about 2013. Maduro succeeded the Venezuelan presidency after former presidency Hugo Chavez died in or about 2013. During Maduro's own presidency, he continued to participate in trafficking with dealers and narco-terrorist groups. In or about 2018, Maduro's declared victory in a disputed and internationally condemned presidential election in Venezuela in or about 2019. Now, Venezuela's National Assembly invoked the Venezuelan Constitution and declared that Maduro's had usurped the power and was not the legitimate president of Venezuela. Nonetheless, Maduro's continued to exercise the power of the Venezuelan presidency, causing more than 50 countries, including the United States, to refuse and to recognize Maduro as Venezuela's head of state in or about 2024. Now, Venezuela held another presidential election that was again widely criticized by the international community, in which Maduro's declared himself the winner despite widespread condemnation. Now, this Dado Cabello Rondon, the defendant, a Venezuelan citizen, is the Minister of the Interior, Justice, and the Peace, and a member of the Venezuelan Armed Forces, and the Vice President of the ruling United Socialist Party of Venezuela. Now, Rondon is widely recognized as one of the most powerful officials in Venezuela. Rondon previously acted as a chief of staff to Chavez in or about 2001. Now, Vice President of Venezuela in or about 2002, the governor of Venezuela's Miranda state between in or about 2004 and in or about 2008, and president of Venezuela's National Assembly between in or about 2012 and in or about 2016. Between in or about 2017 and in or about 2020, Cabello Rondon acted as a member and then the president of the Venezuela's National Constituent Assembly, following the illegitimate creation of the National Constituent Assembly, which siphoned the constitutional powers of Venezuela's National Assembly and further entrenched Maduro's regime. Now, following the dissolution of the National Constituent, following the dissolution of the National Constituent Assembly in or about 2020, Rondon became a member of Venezuela's National Assembly between in or about 2021 and 2024. Now, Chancin, or whatever his name is, Ramon, the defendant, is a Venezuelan politician and a former member of the armed forces who served as a minister of the Interior and the Justice between 2008 and 2002 and 2008. But in or between 2012 and 2016, Rodriguez was the governor of Venezuela's state, this Guarico state. Now, his wife, Cecilia, her name is not Cecilia, her name is Celia. Celia, the defendant, is the de facto first lady of Venezuela, having married Maduro. The defendant, in or about 2013, Flores Maduros, has had a long-standing political career. Now, Flores de Maduro has acted as the president of the National Assembly, starting when Maduro left that role to become the Minister of Foreign Affairs between 2006 and 2011. As the Attorney General of Venezuela between 2012 and 2013, and as the member of the National Constituent Assembly starting in or about 2017. Now, Guerrera, aka the Prince, the defendant is the son of Nicolas Maduro, the defendant and a corrupt Venezuelan politician. Now, he entered into politics after his father, Maduro, became the president of Venezuela in or about 2013. And at that time, Maduro appointed his son as the head of the Corps of Special Inspectors of the Presidency, a position which was created for Maduro in about 2017. Now, Maduro entered Venezuela's National Constituent Assembly in or about 2021. Maduro entered Venezuela's National Assembly, where he continues to hold his office. Now, Hector Guerrero Flores, aka Nino Guerrero, the defendant, has for over a decade served as either the leader or the co-leader of the TDA, during which time the TDA Tren de Agua members, that's the TDA, that's what I mean, and associates have engaged in a wide range of crimes, including extortions, kidnappings, murders, drug trafficking, strap trafficking, tuition, sex trafficking, robberies, bank burglaries, and money laundering in Venezuela, the United States, and elsewhere. Now, this is the narco-terrorist organizations that's working in partnership with these defendants now. The FARC, since its founding in 1964, has become one of the largest producers of Ye in the world. Now, the FARC has generated significant revenue through the Ye trafficking, which it used to fund its operations, including, for example, large-scale weapons purchases and T attacks. The FARC has also directed violent attacks against the U.S. persons and property in foreign jurisdictions, including but not limited to Colombia. For example, at least in or about 2003 to in or about 2008, the FARC leadership ordered the FARC members to kidnap and murder United States citizens and attack the United States.
Say that again?
The FARC leaders ordered the FARC members to kidnap and murder the United States citizens and to attack the United States interests in order to dissuade the United States from continuing its efforts to fumigate and disrupt the FARC's manufacturing and distribution of Ye and Ye paste. Now, consistent with these activities in or about 1997, the U.S. Department of State, the State Department, designated the FARC as the Foreign T Organization, the FTO, pursuant to Section 219 of the Immigration of Nationality Act, the INA, on November 30th, 2021. Now, the State Department removed the FARC from the FTO list and simultaneously designated two FARC successor organizations as FTOs pursuant to Sections 219 of the INA. Now, the FARC-EP and Segunda Marquetalia, both of which remain so designated as the filing of this superseding indictment. Now, the ELN has operated as a Colombian T group since 1965, dedicated to the violent overthrow of the democratically elected government of Colombia. In furtherance of its anti-government agenda, the ELN has committed kidnappings, bombings, and other violent attacks targeting civilians and Colombian law enforcement. In addition, the ELN exports tons of Ye annually to the United States and elsewhere in order to finance its T activities, and has at various times partnered with Colombian guerrilla groups in pursuit of its Ye trafficking agenda and violent agenda. Consistent with these activities, in or about 1997, the State Department designated the ELN as an FTO pursuant to Section 219 of the INA. The ELN, remains designated as of the filing of this superseding indictment. Now, the Sinaloan, you already know, Schnauz now, based on the Mexican state of Sinaloa, has its roots in the late 1980s when the so-called Mexican Federation functioned as a council with representatives from the respective drug trafficking organizations of its principal leaders. Now, during the late 1980s and the 1990s, the members of the Mexican Federation partnered with Colombian sources to supply and transport drugs through Mexico and into the United States. And in early 2000, Joaquin, whatever his name is, Guzman Lojera, El Chapo, you already know, and Ismael, El Chapo, and Ismael Garcia El Mayo formed a partnership that led to the transformation of the Mexican Federation into the Sinaloa Schnauznell. Now, which became the largest.
Well, hold on, that's a lot of information, man. And
let's just get to the bottom of this line. Let's get to this bottom of this line right? That's so we just know we're on the bottom of this page, right? So partnership that led to the transformation of the Mexican Federation to the Sinaloa Schnauznell. Now, which became the largest drug trafficking organization in the world at present. The Sinaloa Schnauznell is highly organized and active in more than half of all states in Mexico. Now, through the sophisticated and heavily armed security apparatus, the Sinaloa Schnauznell wields power through fear, threats, and through violence, including by unaliving police, civilians, and members of other criminal groups who encroach on their territory without authorization. I'll stop it right now. Members of the Sinaloa.
Woo. Hey. That is a pretty interesting indictment.
Shout out to Reading Rainbow, right? I learned to read from Rainbow. Rainbow, I can do anything. Shout out to LaVon Burton for the Star Trek, bro.
In a book.
I'm never on phonics, though, bro. I'm on phonics, man.
Definitely better than I could enunciate any of those words, goddamn, because I'll be effing up those multiple syllable words for sure.
So this is a superseding indictment now, right?
Yeah.
So it's past the initial information. The first indictment's done. This is the second one. Do we know which level of superseding indictment is?
And they can still add to this, right? They can still
they can still keep adding.
You know, they can still drop layers to it.
Typically in a superseding indictment of this size, I'm assuming it's a RICO indictment because of how detailed it is.
It is.
It's got to be RICO.
It's a federal RICO, and it's in the federal court. And in that court building, you can't have phones in that building. So, like where Harvey Weinstein court was, you can have a court. You can have your camera in Harvey Weinstein court. You could go up in his court with your camera. You know what I mean? And
they did the same thing with Chapo, though.
But when you sent him to court, like Diddy, you can't bring your phones. You got to check your phone downstairs.
Right.
All right. So
they did the same.
Let me also welcome into the show Detroit Coalition. Good day to you. How you doing? What's your thoughts?
Good day, everybody. All the gentlemen in the building, all the gentlemen and women in the chat. Oh yeah, I definitely am pushing back against this whole this whole extradition of Maduro. So yes, I do believe that the Venezuelan government has been, without evidence, I don't want to say corrupt, but it has not been serving the people of Venezuela for the past, 25 to 30 years here. And I think there are reasons why, and I think there are pushes from American interests on why that is as well too. But I just want to go back to just earlier this year, our intelligence, U.S. intelligence, said they found no widespread organizational corruption or direction of the TDA from the Maduro regime. And here we are now a year later, all of a sudden, and you have FBI that has dissented against even what the intelligence community has said. So how do we square that part? I got more, but I'm just wondering, our U.S. intelligence said there was no ties to that. And now all of a sudden there are this widespread thing that's tied to that. What changed between then and now?
Oil.
Oh.
Oil, bro. We trying to cook, bro. You need some oil in the pot, bro. Some oil.
Right.
There, bro.
Not so much the safety of the country or the hemisphere, right? Right.
Real, bro.
Okay.
It's just some justification.
Right. And it falls into the fears of. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Uda.
you just can't run through. Even in the hood, they come throw something down. Yo, the freeze! What y'all doing over there? Come on, bro. Yeah, you know what I mean? They gotta make some smoke first and act like it's some fire over there. You know how it go.
Correct. So now you have, you know.
Sorry, a little pushback. They remember when they did that secret strike earlier this year? I forgot what country it was on. They did a secret strike on a military base because there was something important. I pushed it back. It was earlier. Earlier last year, like in Iran, because we're in January of the next year. Whenever they did the earlier attack last year, that we kept saying nothing was going on, nothing was going on, nothing was going on. But in reality, we had a whole blueprint of, hey, this is what's really going down. It just wasn't released as public information to avoid any kind of skepticism from people who are being looked at. That's just, I guess, my devil's advocate moment.
Well, I guess, you know, if you're saying, here's what I know with military actions and even with law enforcement, like when they're doing things, a lot of times they might not disclose the reasons why they're doing this for whatever protection reason for the people that's pulling it off or for future raids or something like that they might be doing later on. But this was an act of insovereignty. I guess that's what you'll say. It wasn't a sovereign act. Going into another country and removing a elected, whether we like the election or believe it was legitimate or not. Go ahead.
Hold on, he was voted out. Detroit.
He was voted out though, but he was voted out.
When did he get voted out?
And he was holding down the spot. You know they was coming to kick down your door.
Hold on. We was just reading it. Go ahead, Uda. Explain somehow he was voted out and he did not.
He was voted out though. The whole thing, the craziest thing is that he was voted out, but yet he still remained in power. So he was on some old other thing over there. You see what I'm saying?
Brought up earlier, this the American propaganda. Maybe he like because America. No, listen. We know how charges work, right? Niggas get railroad every day where they throw a bunch of charges on them. Because the charges are thrown, do that mean they accurate? No, that's what America does.
KT, do you believe that he was going to give up his position of power?
I don't know. If you want me to be very honest, I know Xi Jinping. I know everything he's being arrested for. The president, quote unquote, of China has done.
Slow down. So they had a election. He lost, and he did not give up the power.
Trump tried to do the same thing now.
We don't know that. Like, first up, that's the first thing. We do not know that. We're accepting exactly what they said.
Hold on. KT, how are you saying we don't know that where he literally lost the election and he said, no, I'm not going?
He thought this.
I'm saying we accepting exactly how American and told us it is. We don't have no real information. Let's be very frank. None of us said about Maduro.
Hold on. This is not.
There's a misstatement.
But did we remove him because he wouldn't leave from office because of that? We didn't remove him on that basis, though.
Hold on. Let's just slow it down. There's 3 issues. So we're saying the right information. In Venezuela, he lost the election and he did not give up his power as the president. That is not America putting a twist on it. That's what happened.
Well, we put the twist on it was why we went in here and took him out, because nobody's talking about that. That's not in that indictment.
So there's 3 things that happened at the same time.
Hold on, let's slow it down.
I'm saying that's not a charge in the indictment. That's not a charge in the indictment.
Hold on. So the reason why it is a part of the indictment, because it showed that he didn't want to give up power so he could maintain his military aspect, so he could continue to push out the cocaine that he was trying to spread.
The intelligence community said that he had no involvement with the TDA, though.
And I'm bringing this up because y'all just accepting whatever excuse. Because then everything we talking about, Xi Jinping has done the exact same thing. He's actually refused to step down from his president, and we just were talking about how they bring it in fentanyl and all these fake drugs. So why we ain't doing that to him? He's a way bigger threat than anybody in Venezuela. That's what I'm saying. I'm not with it because I'm American. I'm not going to just accept the excuse and act like, oh yeah, it is valid now. Because people of bigger threats are actually doing that same thing, and they saying fuck us.
I'll tackle that.
But we're having a conversation about Venezuela, so I don't know why we're bringing up other nations that was able to get away with like now, because another nation is able to get away with it. That makes it okay.
And here's the thing: you're talking dictatorship. What other dictatorship exists on this side of the hemisphere?
And and also hold on, but also China does not hold on. But also you talking about KJ, you talking about China, by the way?
Yes,
Xi Jinping.
But China don't have a vote the way how we have a vote. They have a different system.
No,
going on there.
they were claiming
Not,
to change
they don't
over.
have it.
Even
They
now
don't
they're
have it
supposed
with.
to have like
They
a
don't have it
democracy.
with a. They don't have it where the public is voting for the new leader. It's not the same how Venezuela wrote the constitution that you could vote somebody in. So they voted. They had this situation there. He did not want to transition to power, and also they haven't. Well, they prove it or not. That's a whole different story. But they indicted him saying that 12 miles off our coast that he set up a shot where he is getting cocaine to our nation, and that's what that's what he's gonna have to
once you just breach that, I don't even think you got to land, but of course you landed some in the United States, but you just get up in the waters. That just goes to show you how they working. If you come across the waters, you already infraction, bro. You're already playing yourself. Once you enter in our waters, man, we on you.
Right. And once again, these are accusations because even bringing up evidence.
Let me just introduce Omni, etc. into the conversation. Let me see where his position is at on this topic, and we're going to get right back into the open forum. Go ahead, Omni, etc.
What's happening? So yeah, it's weird that everybody got a problem with a dictator being removed from power. It's kind of weird when we've been like everything that people have been attributing to Trump 47, Orange Boy, however you want to refer to him. Maduro has actually done. So, but if y'all need some help, understand that the Democratic Party wanted this to happen too. That's why at the top of the year, before Biden left office, he actually instituted a $25 million bounty on Maduro's head. They put bread on his head at the top of the year, and Trump got the job done with no casualties. So listen.
So he got some pocket change up out of that. They ain't even spent all that money. Let's keep it real, homie. He got some pocket change up out of that. That was clean. They did that one clean.
Listen. Hold on. I wasn't done. Listen.
He ain't done.
On that note, everybody wants to be like.
Let him finish it up. Go ahead, Ami.
Everybody wants to be like, yo, it's about the oil. It's about money. Yeah, fries come with the meal. So. That
was a good one. I ain't gonna lie. That was a good one. I like
what I'm saying? Like, yeah, Trump said, at least Trump was honest about it. If it was George Bush Jr., I remember George Bush Jr. presidency. He was like, what oil? What do you mean? We're there for weapons of mass destruction. At least Trump has the balls to be like, yeah, I think we'll keep the boat. For the time being, yeah, we'll run the country for now. This is what's going to happen. At least he's going to tell you what's going to happen. That's why people appreciate a Trump presidency, because he's not the typical politician. A politician will lie to your face and tell you that, oh yeah, no, it's not at all about the oil. We're not seeking the oil. The oil had nothing to do with it. Trump's like, yeah, the oil was a part of it. Yeah, it was. Yeah, we're there kind of for the oil. We need to get something out of it because we're helping people. Like they lose the dictatorship, and then we gain oil. Seems like a fair trade. So listen, y'all don't like that fries come with the meal. Fries are gonna come with the meal, folks. It's just what it is.
All right, go ahead.
And fries make the meal taste better.
Goddamn.
So we have put the dictator in office.
Okay, so hold on. So we got KT. Udo, you wanna have some pushback as okay? So we got KT, Mr. Work, and then Joshua, and then we bring it right back to Ami. Let's go.
And I have to point out his work keeps saying, y'all, no offense, I feel like y'all real narrow-minded here. Y'all look. Well, Democrats and Republicans, they were going to do. I don't give a fuck. Democrats and Republicans are on the same side. This is why I always say your politics don't matter, because they're the same side of a different coin. They're both going in the same direction. It's neo. I can't remember what it's called but let's be very honest. Obama did the exact same thing Trump is doing. He just did it in a cooler fashion. He just did it with a better walk. You get what I'm saying? So that shit don't matter. We're talking about the facts though, and y'all keep omitting this, because this the thing. If America isn't in our position, everything y'all saying and trying to justify Maduro has done, well, guess what? If we lose our fucking position, who's going to not come to us and say, well, if China becomes a superpower, would they be wrong to say, well, we could prove from 1970 to fucking 2000 and something, y'all was doing the same thing in other countries. We're right to justifiably get rid of y'all now. to take over y'all country, to install our own government to lead y'all country. Y'all not gonna have the same thoughts and logic if it's not applied to us, but y'all want to make the justification for some. Again, China's done the same thing that man has done over there. Why are we acting like we're supposed to be celebrating in Venezuela, bro? It's a piece of, y'all keep saying it's a piece of trash country. We need to be attacking China. Y'all want to get celebrations on small things, like let's tackle actual enemies, and let's not skip that we put these people in position. They're working with us.
Well, China and Russia had interest in Venezuela.
We learned from Bruce Lee. Leave them niggas
alone. Hold on, y'all, because it was supposed to be Mr. Work next. And shout out to the 170 people watching the show. Make sure y'all hit that like and that share button. We appreciate y'all. Let's keep having these type of conversations where all parts of the opposition and the discussion. It ain't just a one-sided echo chamber. Shout out to y'all. Go ahead, Mr. Work.
Yeah, no, I'm just I think me and KT are just making the nuanced observation that basically what's happening is it's being orchestrated by the globalists or the military-industrial complex, and people are cheering it. And that's the problem. We're saying, hey, you guys shouldn't be cheering this. This is orchestrated. This is what the government is trying to do. And if we cheer this, then it gives green light for the government to continue doing governments in South America, Middle East, getting us into foreign issues. And we will always be in an endless state of war if we keep cheering on the military-industrial complex. That's all we're saying.
Okay. I know we were supposed to go back to Josh. Go ahead, Josh.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and be that guy. So, and what's your point? Yeah, guess what? Venezuela fucked around and found out because he sat there and played the game. And then he got on TV bragging about it. And we're like, okay, bet. We did the same thing to Saddam. We did the same thing to Al Qaeda. Like literally, as you go down that list, same reason. Hey, yeah, we got fries with it, but fries also taste really good. So yeah, we like that burger, but those fries are tasty, and we want that. We want that all the way. But here's the thing: y'all are saying, "Oh yeah, it's orchestrated." Fine, let it be orchestrated. But he was an actual dictator. He lost. Not only did he lose, he lost twice, and he still said, "Eat one." Everybody's like, "Well, Trump did the same thing, but Trump left." So we can ignore that whole point.
Trump got dragged. If Trump didn't walk out on his own, he was going to be dragged out. He went to every extent to stay in office, though. But he went to every extent to stay in. Okay, if you want to, the intent has nothing to do with the action, though. He intended on staying.
That's what we're gonna do. We'll let Josh finish it up, and Detroit and
did he intend to leave?
Hold on, Detroit. So we're gonna let Josh finish it up, and we're gonna allow you and Omri to answer to Josh. Go ahead, Josh.
And now we're gonna talk about the specific two differences between what Trump did and what Maduro did. Trump left whether he wanted to or not. Maduro stayed and said, "Eat one." So at the end of the day, that's the difference between an implied dictatorship and an actual dictatorship. He did that game. Here's the thing. He was protected by diplomatic immunity while he was actually president. The minute that walked away, so did that immunity. So yeah, those indictments started rolling. And that's why he's like, "Oh yeah, you think you can come get me? Come get me then." They're like, "Bet, we're coming."
On me?
And I land.
Yes, it's on you, Detroit.
Okay, once again, the sovereignty of a president in their country, right? The sovereignty of a country means that you can't go in there and just snatch up their president. So yeah, if I'm a president, according to Geneva Convention laws, yeah, maybe I am going to wolf off, because if you want to come and get me, guess what? You are going against all the international laws that protect not only me as a president of Venezuela, but you as a president of the United States. So it's the walking contradiction that Trump is, that I will play in Trump's face. You want to do this? Guess what? You a walking contradiction. You're proving what we have been saying about you in the first place. Now, if you're talking about like the Venezuelan people, right? They didn't come asking for the United States to come and extradite Maduro out. If I'm seeing something wrong, let me know. So now you're going against the sovereignty of the people of Venezuela, right? For this fuck around and find out moment. And that shit sounds so imperialist. It's sickening when I hear it come from from brothers of color, because the same sentiment could put us in a shitty position just based on the whim of whatever leaders in there at the time.
So Detroit, I understand where you're coming from, but you're missing two major points. The people of Venezuela did vote him out. The people of Venezuela voted him out twice. The Venezuelan people have been literally tortured by this man for almost 30 years. People in America from Venezuela talk about why they came here to get safety, why they came here in order to get that. My brain's not working right now.
It's okay.
Safety.
Did you know that the U.S. intelligence considered the Tren de Aragua to be a threat to Maduro? Did you know that? Like, so when we're talking about he's working with them, it just flipped all of a sudden that he's working with them when the U.S. intelligence was just saying that he was a threat. The Tren de Aragua started in the Venezuelan prisons, right? And then it spread through the rest of Latin America and New Mexico and stuff like that. And all these countries that have unrest, guess what? Gangs will come in there and kind of take over and everything, right? But it's like, it's playing both, it's playing both sides. And either way it go, the only people that's going to benefit from this is capitalists and imperialists, because guess who's going to be in power? First off, didn't Trump just ask what companies want to go down here and take over the oil? He did that because the main company that left out of there was Exxon. And Exxon left out of there because
they got kicked out.
They were taking the resources of the people. The people weren't getting the resource. They weren't getting the benefit of the resources of their own country, right? Okay. Sounds just like what's his name in Burkina Faso, right? Where we're gonna get this imperialist out of our nation. Regardless, they run that thing themselves. If they ask for intervention from the international governments and everything like that, then that's different. That is not what happened here. They put drug charges on this man to go get him out of there, said nothing about giving the power back to the people, right? Now, here's where I'm going to land my plane here just a little bit, and I know I'll jump in a little bit later on. If I'm wrong about them wanting to have a democratically led government, if I'm wrong, then Maria Corina Machado will not be the leader of Venezuela. And I believe she is going to be the leader of Venezuela. She was the leader of the opposition party. She just won the Nobel Prize. But keep in mind, she was the same political, she was the same politician that was running for president, I think, back in the 2000s. And the Bush administration backed her. The Bush administration backed her, right? She lost. And like any other politician that's taken help from a foreign government, they banned her from politics in the country of Venezuela. She became a part of like the separatist movement down there in Venezuela, whatever. She was a rebel, I guess you just call it like that and make it simple. But like any other country, if somebody here was getting help from another country to win a political election, you know what I mean, we probably wouldn't help that person then become a politician later on.
Okay, hold on.
So if I'm wrong, we'll see.
Okay, go ahead, Omni. I know Omni wanted to jump in. He's patiently waiting. Go ahead, Omni.
Yeah, so this is my thing, right? The people in Venezuela are celebrating. Let them folks be happy. Let them folks be happy. Dog.
That's you're just making shit up, dog.
I'm not.
You are. You making it
up. They are celebrating.
People are celebrating.
And it's also a video of people out there protesting that. And it's also people out there protesting in Venezuela about how this happened, right?
Son, there's people celebrating too. There's people celebrating, and that's crazy because you know that America.
Bro, there's people that celebrated lynchings too, but we supposed to say it was all right.
Let's be honest with ourselves, right? Let's be honest with ourselves. Everybody around the country don't really like America, right? As a country, people like America if they want to, but as a country, ain't nobody like America, right? So for them people there to be happy and cheering in the streets, knowing that America about to take over the thing and run it and do what the hell ever they about to do, you know they was in a bad situation over there, bro. It's a bad situation that they was in, son. Sure.
Oda, that's U.S. propaganda. They make it seem like they're celebrating. That way, it validates what happened. It's not real that all of them are celebrating.
True too.
Okay, that's it. That's an interesting point. Let me also Joey Mackey, 45 with the $2. Trump is the man. Is what I believe he was trying to say. Shout out to Joey Mackey. Trump is the man. I appreciate it. And make sure y'all be just like Joey. If you support good dialogue, hey, Send $1 or $2. It's much appreciated. Hit the like button. That's much appreciated as well. Hit the share button. It's much appreciated.
I thought you was gonna say if you support MAGA.
Go too far, bro.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Too far, bro.
Listen, man, I can feel the teetering. I can feel the
Gunline
teetering on the edge of some of y'all, man.
You're on the edge, man. Gunline balls.
we keep calling it propaganda, but at the end of the day, like I talked to Venezuelans from here today. They are happy that he's in jail. Like, I'm sorry. I know it's anecdotal, and I'm in Dallas, Texas, but there's a bunch of people in Dallas, Texas who fled Venezuela who's like, yeah, fuck that dude. I hope he gets life.
Can we agree that there's a mix of anger, confusion? There's a mix of anger, confusion, and joy with this, right?
Just so I can substantiate what I said earlier about the 25 million, so y'all know it ain't cap. It's in the back chat.
Oh no, I saw it. Oh yeah, I looked it up immediately when you said it. Yeah.
Okay. And I also want to have a conversation about the cheering part. So we do understand, like, when we had our civil war, was it people cheering that we freed the slaves?
I mean, yeah, people who were freed slaves were cheering.
And was it some people mad that they lost in the Confederate places? Were they upset?
Oh yeah, absolutely. The Democrats were mad that they couldn't have black people enslaved anymore.
So we have
and usually they were the more violent ones, right?
And
the ones who were against the freedoms were the most violent. That hasn't changed here.
Right. So what I'm saying is that when we have a country that is divided between the dictatorship that he did not want to give up power versus the people that is happy that finally some change is going to happen because they tired of living in poverty and squalor, because over 50% of them live in poverty. They have hyperinflation. I think what somebody put in the chat, that was up to 1,000,000% of inflation.
Jesus.
And they don't have jobs and all these things. Even when inflation went down, it went down to like 200%, which is still absolutely insanity.
But Sharon, going back to when you started,
Sharon, on that note, Sharon, it was their inflation was so bad they were trying to sell pottery and all types of origami ornaments made out of their money.
That's going back to what you were talking about, Sharon, as far as like what started this. You went back to the early 2000s. It was actually late 90s. You went back to the late 90s. I want you to think about any other country that kicked out imperialists. I put in the chat on the YouTube chat. You guys know about the banana wars in Honduras? You ever heard about that?
I heard about them, but I haven't researched them.
Yeah. So what happened? And I'll just like keep it real simple because I'm not gonna remember these names and stuff like that. But the Honduran people voted for their leader. They got elected a leader. First thing he did, well, he actually campaigned on getting the resources back to the people. So all these corporate interests that were down here especially from the Americas or from America, to get them out of our country, bring these resources back to the people, right? All this land that these companies came down here and just took up without, any kind of consideration for the people that lived there before, right? So he gets elected, right? The U.S. pulls off a coup to get him out of there, because the United Fruit Company was a major player down there in that region or whatever. The United Fruit Company today is what you know of as Chiquita. So because of the banana profits that were going to be like given back basically to the people, the U.S. government went down there and pulled a coup. So tell me the differences between that and this, without the alleged drug stuff that even the U.S. Intelligence Department said there wasn't a thing last year.
The difference is that the situation with Venezuela is going to hurt us economically, and it's going to help us military wise as well. So it's twofold already. That is highly important, regardless of all the other implications that they could do. But those two things of positioning our direct opposition to get off the dollar to trade oil is the third problem that we will have. We do not want our dollar, being American, to drop down in value because we say, you know what, let's just ignore that Venezuela is in a position to destroy or help hurt American people. We cannot just ignore the fact that Venezuela is in a prime position for somebody like Russia and China to put military situations there to threaten America. They also
There we go.
They are also in position to influence Mexico, and then they'll be in influence to influence Canada to go against it. Then now they have a strategic position to go against America economically and military wise, and also to hurt our dollar. We cannot allow that to happen, and we are fortunate that our military was smart enough to understand, like, hey, this is the time to do it because of all the other BS that he involved himself in, as possibly putting drugs 12 miles away from the border, which was a stupid move.
Exactly.
And how do we? How has this country? How have we usually handled this? Haven't it been in diplomatic ways, where we put diplomatic pressure on different countries where they'll act right?
Not when
we
it comes to
sanction certain things. No.
Not when it comes to
even with dictators.
Even
with dictators, we sanction their country. We sanction different things, right?
All right, so but
to me, I feel like this was.
Slow down. So the problem is that we did those sanctions, and clearly it didn't work.
From which under the Trump administration,
it did work.
They've been sanctioning goddamn Venezuela for years. This is one of the longest. This is one of the longest beefs ever with neighboring countries. Like, this is a serious beef, and also they've been trying to go against anything that the U.S. is doing on purpose. They are just being
because they don't want to be. They don't want to be imperialized again, right?
So, right. So how do you sanction? Hold on. That it sounds fair, but when we let them go to their own devices, they did worse. They went from $300 billion in oil to $110 billion, and then now hyperinflation, over 50% is in poverty. They have one of the biggest migrations out of all the countries over there. They run into Brazil, Colombia, America, and so on and so. They ain't running to no god.
I know what you're saying.
It's Cuban Missile Crisis all over again.
It's the part of USD. It's the part of USD destabilization. Sorry, it's the part of US destabilization of different countries that we don't want to recognize in this instance for whatever reason. You don't want to admit that we work to destabilize Haiti. You don't want to if you don't want to admit that we work to destabilize Liberia. All these different that's what the U.S. play has been. So you're right. When Exxon left out of Venezuela, yeah, we did all kind of things to destabilize that region. We're not going to help you. You need help from us for this and that. Even if it has to do with democratic norms of trying to protect the people, we're not helping you, right? So why go in there now?
Exxon left.
Hold on. But
Hold on.
But that's not my argument. My argument is that we had to step in on Venezuela because that could economically hurt us as Americans, and also military-wise, it could hurt us as Americans, and also it could.
And
it also could destabilize our U.S. dollar, which affects us as Americans, as the small Americans. Granted, the oil situation is going to go to big corporations, but if we allow the other nations to take over, it's going to affect us because it's going to weaken the dollar.
And I guess my point is, it's easier to go in here on a military strategy and just make some shit happen. And in the short term, things like appear to be what you want it to be. But in the long term, some kind of diplomatic way of working this, which is a weakness of this administration. They do not know how diplomacy works, or they're not willing to be diplomatic. Like, there are ways to work things around this world and around this planet with the strength of our country, not just military.
Okay, so
you know what diplomacy usually devolves into? Us sending them our money. That's what it usually. United States.
That's your worry and your concern. I mean, that could be a worry and concern, right?
United States' #1 export is USD. At this point, all we do is send other countries our money, and if we're not sending it directly, we're sending it via all these schemes, like what happened with the people in Somalia, the people in was it Missouri?
Somalia?
Minnesota?
No, Somalia.
Well, no, they're here in the U.S. sending money back
Right.
home, and we
In
know
Missouri
this.
to Somalia.
When I was paying my rent with money orders and whatnot, I'd be at Western Union, MoneyGram, Walmart, all of it, and it's a bunch of foreign people sending money back home. Our primary export is the American dollar because that's how strong it is. So the fact that you're talking about diplomacy, how much money did we send to Ukraine? Billions.
Why did we send money to Ukraine?
What did it do? Fuck all.
Why did we send money to Ukraine? Why did we send money and military aid to Ukraine? Wasn't it because they gave up their because they gave up their nukes and we told them we protect because we were trying to diplomatically bring down the proliferation of nuclear weapons on the planet?
So therefore,
we sent money to Ukraine because they weren't.
Hold on. So let's go with that premise. So if we go with that premise, that shows that being just diplomatic, it still creates a problem that people want to fight.
But it wasn't the Ukrainians who wanted to fight against Russians. It was the Russians that wanted to fight for Ukrainian land.
Perfect. Right? So now when we correlate that to Venezuela, so if Russia is sending literally military aid and they have a handshake saying that we need your military aid, what do we believe? If history proves it's right, what will Russia do if they had the position of 30-minute flight to America?
Bang bang. Bang bang.
Right. If Russia, I believe that part. I believe that is not. I won't disagree with that. Russia is
not far away, and they got missiles aimed at each other.
Hold on, KT.
But that's okay, KT. What he's saying is just like the Cuban Missile Crisis, having them that close, like it not only does it put the U.S. in danger, but it puts a lot of U.S. assets in the Gulf of Mexico and the Caribbean in danger as well too. I understand that part, but the thing is, if you know that this country has
before you go, you know, but negates everything you said before it.
Situational.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
I'm bring you know, so go ahead and build your conversation. However, we cannot just negate that we have to protect our American land.
Assets first.
Okay, I got
so
you.
Let me ask y'all
what I'm saying is,
y'all know how many miles Russia is from Alaska? Go, anybody. It's 60 miles away.
It's okay, KT.
Isn't it like 160 or something?
No, it's 60, 55 to be precise. So that's all I keep pointing out. Y'all keep bringing up boogeyman's when it's real things that already exist. That's way more. Venezuela is not fucking 55 miles away.
Let me. KT, I think I agree with you, but let me just say this: Alaska is not the same threat as the southern coast of the United States. That would be my.
It's not the same.
It's not even close to an argument. That's number one. Number two, it ain't no people living on that side of Russia.
It's really than Diddy down there right now, bro. It's crazy, bro.
Y'all
it's really than the Diddy trial down there right now, bro. It's really than the Diddy trial.
So what you about to do? You about to go down there and hit the live back? What you gonna do? You gonna be the live correspondent?
I'm chilling right now. It's a zoo down there. It's a zoo. Yo, people is in the park. Across the street in that park is people standing up in the playground, bro. Nah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. And so what
and people got signed talking about Trump gotta go. Yo,
and what
because it's just Trump.
With the whole,
no, it's just because it's Trump.
Yeah, but the whole thing that KT is missing with the Russia to Alaska is that people don't live in those parks. That's number one. Number two, we are close enough to where we can attack back, right? So therefore, if Russia was to try to use that 60-mile radius as an attack, we have the power to fight back. But if they are in Venezuela, well, we do not have that same position and power to hurt Russia. We have a position to hurt Venezuela, but they already would do a tremendous amount of damage without taking any damage. And that would be the issue with Venezuela. We're allowing someone that has the capabilities of Russia to have a military base in Venezuela. That would be a huge military problem.
I'm from the South. I got big pride in the South. California is far more important to the American economy than any city we can point out in southern part of America. If Venezuela attacks us, they're going to land in the southern part of America. If you literally shoot an hour or past Alaska, past that 55 miles, you're literally in California.
1201, he bought into the prison in a blue shirt. Hold up.
Orange undershirt.
Orange undershirt.
Celia Flores dressed the same.
His wife was dressed the same.
Okay.
Hold up. They both
So
got
his
their
wife
own
is still in
lawyers.
jail. Yeah, his
They
wife's still
both
there.
got their own lawyers, him and his wife.
Wow. Breaking news, baby.
She's finna 63 him.
They both got lawyers already. They lawyered up all of that individual lawyers. Okay, you know we're gonna go with the updates. You know we're gonna update as we go. Y'all get it though.
So it ain't no.
She's
ain't
finna
no
go 63 him.
Ain't no
Ron,
part
She's
of
finna go
it.
63 him.
So what I think is that y'all not paying attention to that in Alaska we have military bases there to affect Russia directly. So if they was to try to play some shit over in Alaska, we have forces over there to fight back. If they was to do something from Venezuela, we have no forces to fight back to Russia. We only have.
We literally got bases in Cuba. What are we doing here?
Okay, so you're not understanding. If Russia was to attack from Venezuela, we could only attack Venezuela. Russia would not give a fuck if we was to blow up Venezuela.
So the place in Alaska now doesn't exist. That's what I'm saying. Y'all be making these arguments to really justify y'all actions.
Okay, hold on, slow down. Slow down. Hold on, slow down. So what I'm trying to get
to the country.
I'm trying to get you to understand. Hold on, KT. Alaska has military bases there to fight back.
Yes.
Okay.
So the South doesn't. Is that what you're saying?
What I'm trying to get you to understand, they have
bases in Cuba, right?
I need you to understand what I'm saying. Alaska could literally fight back against Russia. They blow a piece of Alaska off, Alaska could blow a piece of Russia off. But Venezuela, it ain't the same. We do not have that capability to. If they was to shoot off Florida, if they blow up Florida from Venezuela, we cannot attack anything in Russia from where we at. Without it being
that's what I'm saying. We literally can. Alaska, the Alaska base still exists, and we literally have bases in the southern part of America.
Again, hold on.
PR and shit. What are you talking about?
This is where you get confused at. Hold on. This is where you get confused at. If we was attacked from Alaska, Russia already have defenses there, so it would be a fight. So again, it's more. So that means, hold on. You're not understanding. Just listen to what I'm saying.
You're not making sense, bro.
Just please understand what I'm saying. So therefore, we will have to attack from the Florida side, and also we have to attack from the Alaska side. So we have to run a big military operation. Is what you're not understanding.
That's what war is. What are you talking about? I'm confused. Like that's what I'm saying.
This is the thing. This is the thing.
Because we have bases in correct me if I'm wrong. We have bases like Puerto Rico and shit, which is close to Venezuela, right?
KT, hold on. This is what we're gonna do. Detroit, somebody that's on your side. Can you please explain to him how he's wrong about the military aspect of the situation? Because I think you agree with the military aspect. Go ahead, Detroit. Try to get him to understand because you're on his side and he knows that you are not trying to make him look foolish, right? So go ahead, Detroit.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. So from a military standpoint, well, to me, and I can't, substantiate all this stuff. I believe it's more so the assets that you have down there in the southern part of in the Gulf of Mexico and the Caribbean. It's the assets more than anything that you're protecting. So if you have a Russian military base down right now, you have a Russian military base on the outskirts of Russia, right? Mm-hmm. And they do all kind of stuff in the that's the Pacific, in the Pacific Ocean. They have freighters that deliver their goods and they get goods and everything like that, right? So now you would have to have Russian everything down in the Caribbean, right? So if you have a Russian base down there, you're going to have Russian subs coming through there. Russian subs are all around anyway, right? We find them all the time, all around our oceans. But now they have a legitimate reason for being there. And, if we like try to militarily take some kind of stance or whatever with them, now, you're right. It would be an all-out war down there, but it would be a reason for them to incite war. Once again, going back to diplomacy, certain things we do and don't do because we're trying to do it in a diplomatic way, not to incite military actions out of country. That's a part of defense as well, too. Not just having the biggest stick. It's about how to, choose which fight to actually fight in, too.
Sharon, can I say
No, I
something?
agree with all that. I'm just asking, and correct me if I'm wrong. We have bases by Venezuela. We have bases by Russia. Whether or not you want to talk about where Russia attacked us from, if they attack us from actual Russia, like Alaska way, or if they make a base in Venezuela, we already have places that's close to Venezuela. Why are you saying this?
Again. Okay,
Well,
so
hold on. I just want to finish this.
hold on. 'Cause
I
you keep
agree
saying
with
that-
you.
hold
I
on,
don't think.
Hold on. You keep saying the same thing. We do not trade through Alaska. We trade through the Venezuelan waters, right? So we have cargo that goes through there, right? This is the reason why we had the whole situation queued. So it's literally a canal. Like it's a lot of shipments that is important to America that will be shipping through there. So they could literally stop food from getting to us. So it is more than just them putting a bomb or shooting somebody. It is way bigger of a military position for Russia to be in Venezuela, especially after Maduro went over to Russia, shook his hand, and asked for military aid. So you could understand it's more than just them striking us. They could strike our supplies. You start striking our supplies again. You start to put us in a way where we're not getting food the way how we did. You striking us economically, so we're not being able to make money as we did. You're also going to change the world from trading oil in dollars to whatever new currency that they are trying to do, like gold. So again, now that's going to bring the value of the dollar down. Again, these are multiple things that will affect our whole nation. It's going to affect you directly as a human being from America. It's more than just this little situation that you're trying to make it.
No, it's not no little situation. I'm only
Going off
bringing
of what
this
you're
up
saying,
because
Sharon, it's
I'm
less
asking.
military and more economic.
That's what I'm saying. That's all I keep pointing out. Y'all not listen. Y'all keep. All I'm saying is, first of all, for Russia to get in the position to make a whole base, or China to make a whole base in Venezuela, America watch them niggas do it and ain't do shit. So if we don't bomb on them niggas, when we saying that Russia's gonna be to our detriment to have places there, it would be stupid as fuck for us to say, well, this why we doing it because that won't happen, and then also act like, oh, well, these are because the other possibilities are still Russia doesn't have to have a base in fucking Venezuela.
It's because you're not considering the distance
Okay,
of
hold
defense.
on. So no, this is what he's not considering. If Russia was to go to Venezuela right now, hold on. If Russia was to be in Venezuela right now, posturing they warships, we could actually have a reason to fight. But if Venezuela invite them in, say we have a military base here, and then now they're about 20 miles off of the coast, they are able to position themselves without us saying that it's an act of war because they have the right to be there. That is the positioning that you are not understanding.
No, I'm saying because y'all like Detroit said, y'all making a military argument, which could be any fucking thing. That's my point. Can we talk about actuality or we talk about military? Because we can say anything in this universe is a threat. So now we're valid to go to war. We could literally look at Russia taking over places in Africa and say they're gaining too much power. That's an act of war.
But that doesn't put them in striking range of us.
No, we cannot say that.
They are not in striking range of us, though. That's what I'm telling y'all, right?
Hold on, no. This is what I don't understand why this is.
According to Venezuela, are they in striking range of us?
Hold on, no. So
yes, if they were in Venezuela, they would be.
Okay,
if they were in Venezuela, they would be in striking.
Hold on, y'all. Right? Jesus, hold on.
They're not right. That's all I'm pointing out.
We got to be able to answer it. Hold on. What are you asking?
Are they in Venezuela?
As of right now,
are
Russia?
These countries? Yes. China, Russia, anything we're saying is a threat to us. Are they actually there?
We stopped it.
No, we didn't. Because the next regime can come in and say we're going to invite Russia. We're not attacking Russia and China because we're saying those are the enemies. We're attacking people who agree to work with them.
Do you not understand the concept of a proxy war? Do you not understand the concept of a proxy war?
We need a briefer. Let's get the update.
Okay, hold on. Hold on. You want me to add this to the stage, Uda?
Yeah, add this to the stage. Let's just get the update. We're going to get back. Boom. So this is the update right now. What the hell's going on? Boom. They said 12:01. Nicolas Maduro is brought in by the U.S. Marshals in a blue shirt, orange shirt. Cecilia Flores dressed in the same, each with their own lawyer. All rise. Judge Alvin Hellerstein, You can't see me behind all this equipment. Counsel introduces themselves. AUSA Washiba. The two defense lawyers, the Judge Hellerstein says, I am Alvin Hellerstein. I am U.S. District Judge assigned to this case. It is my job to ensure a fair trial. We'll start out by summarizing the indictment. Judge, Mr. Maduro is charged with narco-terrorism, providing something of pecuniary value to one or more persons involved in terrorist activity. In count 2, Mr. Maduro and Ms. Flores are charged with importation conspiracy. Maduro has, I think he has interpretation headphones on, they say. The judge, count 3 involves firearms, including machines or destructive devices. Finally, in count 4, they are charged with conspiracy to possess machine straps and destructive devices. Judge, are you Nicolas Maduro's? Maduro in Spanish, the inner city press interpretation. Okay. I am the president of Venezuela. He's still disillusioned, man. Sad with this man. I consider myself a prisoner of war. I was captured at my home in Caracas. Judge, let me intervene. There will be time for this. Judge, I only want to know, are you Nicolas Maduro Moros? Maduro, yes. Judge, have you been served the indictment? Defense lawyer, we waived public reading. Maduro, I have it in my hands for the first time. I prefer to read it personally. The judge says, anything you say may be used against you. I see you have counsel, Mr. Pollock here. If you cannot afford one, the government will provide a lawyer free of charge. Did you know of these rights? Maduro, I did not know of these rights until now. The judge says, how do you plead? Maduro, I am innocent. I am a decent man. I am president. Defense lawyer, it is a plea of not guilty to all counts. Judge Bridget, his courtroom deputy, she will arraign you. The deputy, have you seen the indictment? Maduro, seen but not read. Deputy, have you discussed it with your lawyer? Maduro, partially. Deputy, how do you plead? Maduro, I am innocent. I am not guilty of anything that is mentioned here. Judge, are you Celia Flores de Maduro? Celia Flores, I am the first lady of the Republic of Venezuela. Judge, you heard about the indictment from me? Celia Flores, yes. Judge, you have 2 lawyers with you. Did you discuss it with them? Celia Flores, yes. Judge, how do you plead? Celia, I am complete innocent. Judge, pleas of not guilty will be entered. Mr. Washiba, what was the date and the time of the arrest? AUSA Washiba, they were arrested at 11 p.m. on January 2nd and transferred to the SDNY at 4:31 p.m. on January 3rd.
Damn.
AUSA, I would like to note that the defendants have a right to consular notification, though not mandatory. The judge, thank you. Do you understand, Mr. Maduro? Mr. Maduro, yes, we would like to have consular visit. Celia Flores, yes, I would like for that consular visit as well with the consulates. Okay, Mr. Washiba, will you arrange that? AUSA, we'll look into it. Judge, and inform me. AUSA, the 5F order, continued. The judge says, I'll do it, better yet. The government has a duty to produce discovery. I'll enter a written order. Judge, did you understand the interpretation? Maduro, yes, I took notes and I would like to keep them. AUSA, we will work with the marshal on that to make sure that they are kept appropriately. Judge, I have a letter from Mr. Pollock about various procedures on fees. At 92, I guess Hellerstein has no. I think that's the last one. Hold on. Is that the last one? Is that the last one? Damn, my man down here.
Yes, that looks like the end of it right now.
I interviewed this guy too, son. He's a top guy.
Word.
I interviewed him. Trial Renato Stepio, this guy.
It's crazy.
Man, that's
yeah, so we're gonna get the updates, bro. You know what I'm saying? Inner City Press for the updates on Twitter. That's my dude. He's a white dude that was at the trials and stuff. He's always at that building too. So he's gonna be update. So if you need to tap in to get an update, just in case I'm not here, you got to tap in update. And I put something else behind there. If it explains like an AI thing that kind of explains why the U.S. kind of went at Venezuela, it's like an AI kind of video. It's kind of like 11 minutes or so. So you got that back there. But we still got the documents still too. So still here with the document.
Yeah. And thank you for that play-by-play. That is the update as of right now. They both pleaded not guilty. Can't. Ding, ding, ding.
Also, you got to remember this is the initial hearing, and everybody has to plead not guilty at this one. Like it's mandatory. You cannot plead guilty at this hearing specifically.
And so,
That's just federal rules of criminal
How they
procedure.
talking though? But like I'm
Oh yeah,
complete.
no, they're going to trial.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
no, they're
out.
going to trial.
How they talking? They talk is what I'm saying. You ain't gonna say, "Yeah, I'm innocent." They like, "Nah, what do you mean? I'm the presidente still." He's still talking like he's the president. The man done got. Come on, bro. The man that skipped the election. He's still the president. My man is
crazy. And
not-
I think
Yeah.
I think a lot of people that's not understanding why this is important to America, right? Even though it was a very delicate situation. Still in all, it would have been a proxy war, and this is the whole reason why Russia decided to invade Ukraine, because we was trying to posture ourselves over in Ukraine, and Russia said they ain't going for it. That's
It's
how
why
that.
it's why one of NATO Russia's requirements for Ukraine was that they could not join NATO. It's for the very same reason.
Yeah,
Yes. Sure. Can I say something? Because
Yes,
I
please.
think something we're kind of all
Hold on,
missing here is the fact that
Hold up.
when we talk about the military-industrial complex, we're kind of shilling for the action they're taking. If you say
Mm.
this is justified, you have to remember that
Wait.
the reason it's quote unquote
Hold up.
justified is because the U.S. government didn't want
Yeah,
to
we got the
work.
rest.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Uda.
You got some more, Uda?
Yeah, I think we got the rest of it because I think they said something was adjourned. So hold up. No defense in Colin. Okay, wait. Because he said he's going to make a note. How do you plead? I am innocent. I would like to make a note. Okay, cool. I think we got it here. Boom. Bring it back up. Let me see. Did I share it back? Hold up. I think I got to share it back too. Hold up. That's the other page. Let me share this page back too. Boom. I think this is the complete thing now. All right, cool. She said she complete innocent. The rest on transfer. Okay, cool. Transfer to SDNY 431. They said was the date and the time of arrest. Let's make sure we discuss it with them. Yes. Okay, so we was right here when we left off. All right, cool. I would like to take note that the defendants have a right to consular notification, though not mandatory. We went through that. Hold up. Did you understand the interpretation? He did. We'll confer on that. The application for bail. See, we didn't see that. So letter from Mr. Oh, procedures and fees. Okay, cool. This is where we're at here then. Bang. AUSA will confer on that. The judge, is there an application for bail? Mr. Pollard, Mr. Maduro is not seeking bail at this time.
Wow.
Without prejudice to applying it later later. The judge, you can make that application later and I'll hear it. Celia Flores also consents to detention. Ooh, they said just lock us up on some political prisoner type shit.
Man.
Nah, they're going crazy. Judge, the next Rule 16 discovery, AUSA, we have conferred and will write to the court and come back to the court in approximately 60 days. We have discussed March 17th. Are all available? I'm there. Okay. Judge, satisfactory date. Pollock, I expect a substantial motion practice. Okay. Pollock, Mr. Maduro is a sitting head of state. There are also questions about his capture by military. We are willing to waive a speedy trial act rights to March 17th and set a motion schedule at this time. And we move to exclude the speedy out. They moved to exclude the Speedy Trial Act. Okay, cool. Pollock, there are some medical issues as to Mr. Maduro. I will fill out the form to make sure that he gets the appropriate treatment. Donnelly, Miss Flores de Maduro was injured during her abduction and she had bruised ribs. The judge will work it out and let me know. Then they basically adjourned after that. Yeah, that's where the adjournment happened.
Yeah, so something I was saying is that the government, it's not that the issue is of our own making, right? So we basically cooed these governments in South America, and it's not like they wouldn't work with us. It's just that we didn't want to work with them unless we were able to exploit them, right? So you have the banana republics, and basically the U.S. Chiquita Banana wanted to have people in Honduras essentially working for free because they were only getting paid with company currency. They weren't actually getting paid with real money. So it was one of those things where they wanted to exploit them. something with Cuba, for instance, and here's where I kind of land my plane is before JFK got assassinated, it was after he got assassinated. Fidel Castro was quoted as saying that they were going to work out an agreement so that way Cuba and the United States could be friendly. But he said pretty much that's all under the water now that JFK got assassinated. Because the military-industrial conflict or industry doesn't want these countries to have diplomacy with the United States. If we can set up some kind of war military action, then it allows them to keep industrializing and spending money on.
Okay. So it seems like sometimes the argument for KT Mr. Work is that y'all could understand, y'all want America to help out, but you don't want them to benefit off of helping out, it seems like.
No,
I
want
would
you
say
to
I don't
leave
want them
people to
involved
fuck
at all.
alone.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like what? That's what I'm saying. Trump's whole, I don't get it, because Trump whole thing of running was like, we gonna stick and worry about, even the America First thing. It's about America first. Remember, we stopped fucking with other people and focus on ourselves. So I'm just confused how, like, when the shit doesn't happen, people are like, well, you know, it's in our benefit, because everybody was in agreement we shouldn't do this shit, and now it's like some shit happened. It's really wonky.
Okay, so Paul, if we help them out, that's going to help us out. Is that still not put America first?
That's exactly what I was about to say.
No, because listen, already so far, what did happen, right? Like they just said, they done blew up boats. They done went over there and made a strike on Venezuela. That cost us money, tax dollars, the American people money, right? What have we gained so far? Tell me.
Oil.
So far. Wait, so far.
That's not our oil. That's Exxon. That's whoever company is gonna pump it oil.
Exactly. We ain't getting.
You don't think that oil ain't gonna make it to American soil? You're crazy.
Some of it make it to America. Right. We supposed to be like, this is the celebration for us.
Because it's not just
still American. It's our overall oil prices.
It's not just. Hold on. It's not just quantity. It's not just quantity. It's also the type of oil that it is. It's the real thick, good oil.
Yeah, we've already been through that.
Listen. Listen.
How much did our
I'm
gas
telling you, fries come with the meal.
Oil. No,
fries come with the meal. We sent over $750 billion to Ukraine. What did we get in return?
Nothing. That's
nuclear oh God, I can't even say the word. We got less nukes on the planet.
Proliferation.
We got less nukes on the planet. That's what we were supposed to be doing in the first place. That was the purpose of us, like, militarily supporting Ukraine, was that they would give up their nukes, right? Because we were trying to limit the amount of nukes on the planet as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we got from it. You want to say we didn't get nothing from it?
Why didn't Russia want Ukraine as part of NATO?
Because it would have gave them pretty much.
Because it weakens Russia.
Because actually NATO had an agreement with Russia that we wouldn't be on their borders, and having Ukraine right next to Russia. See, Zelensky was trying to double.
Why did Ukraine want to be a part of NATO though?
I'm gonna tell you, Zelensky
because they felt threatened by Russia, because Russia had been threatening them forever.
No, Zelensky was double dipping. Zelensky at the time had business interests with Russia. He had a deal on the table with Russia, and he had a deal on the table with NATO. He wanted both deals, and Russia started to bomb their ass because it's like, what the hell are you doing? You're not supposed to.
What deal was that? What deal are you talking about they had with Russia?
It was for their minerals. Something about their minerals. I didn't get far into it, but
because what I'm talking about, as far as Ukraine getting threatened by Russia, went before Zelensky even got in office.
Specifically, is wheat. That's the main mineral that we was taking. But go ahead.
But the Ukraine trying to be a part of NATO started before Zelensky was even in office, though.
Mm-hmm.
So it's saying that, but that's what I'm saying.
When did the bombing start? When did the bombing start?
When did Russia start bombing Ukraine?
Yeah,
like 2016.
Right, they've been going.
No, this official one was like 20.
Hold on. So the problem is I don't understand the correlation. Russia been bothering Ukraine for many years. Before Zelensky was president, they was bothering the previous president. So this whole situation of posturing been going on for a very long time. This is another long beef as well, right? This whole Venezuela and America thing, this is a long beef. This is not something that is just brand new. And Americans say, you know what? We wake up and we feel like we're taking over. No, this has been going on for a very long time, over 2 decades. And so to act as if we are not a part of geopolitics is crazy to me, that we could just leave everybody alone and just mind our own business. We cannot. We're not in a position to mind our own business. The world is a part of our own business.
No,
sovereignty is a part of our business.
That is
sovereignty. Sovereignty of nations is in our best interest because we are supposed to be a democratic country. Now, these actions that we're doing, we're leaning more and more. Go ahead.
Hold on, let's pause right there. Is Venezuela supposed to be written in a constitution, or are they supposed to be a democratic country?
It's on the people, whatever they want to be.
Okay, so
they voted in another president.
According to them, are they supposed to be democratic according to their constitution?
No, they're sovereign. It's not about democratic.
Hold on, you misunderstand what sovereign means in this context. Hold on. In Venezuela, do they vote their president in?
Yes.
Okay, so that's part of democracy, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so KT, you understand that?
Yeah, I already understand. I'm saying it doesn't matter because there's sovereignty.
Wait.
He understands that. We're about to go with something else.
Hold on. I'm just trying to make sure we are on the same page of what we are having a discussion about. So you agree that Venezuela, by their constitution, that they supposed to be a democratic country, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so now when they all right, so now when they
mean you could change or do whatever as long as your people.
No, hold on. The sovereign nation thing is a different conversation compared to what we're talking about. This country is running as a democratic situation. When they say they vote presidents in, and the people got the opportunity to vote people in and out. That is different.
Democracy is part of their sovereignty.
Right. That's a part of their sovereignty. They say that we are choosing our own people. That's their sovereign right. So you are confusing sovereignty with democracy, right? Those are two different things.
No, I'm not. That's what I'm saying. Y'all, you won't let me finish.
Two different things.
You'll say. But I'm saying if they're sovereign, they have the right to say, okay, we currently are under democracy. We don't give a fuck about that no more. Their sovereign right is to change their mind, and even if they want to say we don't want to do that.
Okay, so now